จัดแมตช์สนุกๆมาให้คุณผู้ชมได้เชียร์กันต่ออีกแล้วค่ะและครั้งนี้กลับมาเป็นการต่อสู้กันอีกครั้งหนึ่งระหว่างทีมเวียดนามกับทีมไทยอย่าง WAG นะคะแล้วก็ทีม Falcons นั่นเองค่ะ
It is time. It's finally time. The match that I think four Vietnamese are waiting their best is WAG versus Team Falcons, and this one is gonna be really hard.Very
hard for them and very hard for us to cheer คือเรียกได้ว่ายากแม้กระทั่งกับนักแข่งแล้วก็ยากแม้กระทั่งกับคนเชียร์ด้วยนะคะเพราะว่าตอนนี้เนี่ยเรียกได้ว่ามันเข้าสู่ใกล้ๆรอบสุดท้ายแล้วอะแต่ละทีมเก่งมากๆเลยจริงๆเพราะฉะนั้นไม่ต้องรอช้าค่ะขอเสียงต้อนรับ WAG
Alright, this is for you, Vietnam. Welcome, WAG!
และแน่นอนค่ะมี WAG ก็ต้องพบกับทีมนี้เลยค่ะทีม Falcons
Moving on to the best opponents, Team Falcons.
ไม่มีอะไรให้ต้องพูดอีกแล้วค่ะทุกคนคะเพราะบอกเลยว่าการกระทำสำคัญกว่าคำพูดและตอนนี้ไปดูเกมกันเลยดีกว่า Let's go to the showcaser
Yep, this match is going to be really hard because Team Falcon is the king of Clash Squad in Thai. But I do believe that WAG has enough potential to beat them back.
You wanna fight?
No, but I will
Yes,
for my country. So let's head back to the shotcaster and start our first game.
Let's go
I will throw money on that fight for sure, so let's get it on. Or you can send your representatives, WAG against Team Falcons in the second semifinals of this tournament. Winner faces off against BRU in the grand finals for a shot at 40 grand. It's Husky and the gentleman Neptune Garcia to bring you guys the rest of the action. We got two more series to go. One best of 3 in the semis and one best of 5 for the grand finals before we crown our eventual champions.
Yeah, this is the decider match as to who's going into the grand finals between these two teams, Team Falcon and WAG. And I apologies for forgetting this because I was thinking that this is a good chance, or the grand final is a good chance that Thailand goes against the Vietnam. But I forgot that Falcons is also part of Thailand, so it would start that fight between the hosts, and I know it's not a literal fight, but I'm pretty sure they're cheering on their own region. But I would want to see a great battle being brought in by WAG right here against Falcons. So I know it's a stretch that it would be easy for WAG, but I'm pretty sure that they can put up a little bit of a great offense, especially in tactics. And there's a good chance as well for WAG to show up once again, especially with Vietnam missing that opportunity to step into a world stage in the EWC.
Yeah, I think it's the first time in a long time that they missed a world stage like that, right? Last year we at least had PE Sports, even though it wasn't the best performance from them at EWC. But this year, not having Vietnam on the world stage does feel like there's a void. It was filled by DRG making a historical run into top 6, but I think Vietnam, they have a lot to prove, right? They have one more fall season to try and fight for that slot into the global finals. But WAG is the only invited Vietnamese team for this Clash Squad tournament, and that's why I feel like there's that responsibility for them to perform well.
Yeah, I mean, it is a responsibility for them to perform well, to show up this time a little bit stronger in this game. And I want them to be showing up right now, but it's a tough call. Because if you recall on how like Team Falcons really did it from yesterday, it seems like Team Falcons is just like it's a stroll in the park for them. There's not so much of pressure. Even Buriram United fall to them to their like tactics overall for 2 matches, despite of game 1 being given to Buriram United. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know how this is going to end, but we saw that struggle between Loss and Buriram United being turned around by the Thailand team. I know our focus should be on Falcons and WAG, but I can't take the way that Team team from Thailand are a different breed overall when it comes to Free Fire.
Oh yeah, I agree. They definitely are forged in fire, and like you said, like Falcons, they felt like they had no pressure coming into yesterday, right? And the series against VRU was definitely a lot more intense than the one that they had to play against Lost, where they were just floating around with that Deagle in Karoro's hands. I think today they're probably going to be a lot more carefree. Like Falcons is a team that is very easily entertained. It's very easily lighten them up, right? All it takes is just one small push, they get a little win, and then they would feel like they are on cloud 9. That's something that is very, unique to Team Falcons. That's why EWC, even though they won a round that wouldn't have gotten them a chance to win the trophy anyways, they still celebrated. Because every single win, it means something. Up against WAG, I don't expect it to be any different.
Exactly. I mean, this is a team that really cherishes all the game that they jump into, and that is, I would say, champion spirit. Because we keep talking about this in other games, even in Battle Royale, that they need to treat each game as if it is their final match, and that is one way to do it. That's one way to show that if you treat it as a final match and you get a win, you celebrate as if you won the grand final. So that's what we want to see from other regions as well. And well, it's just up to them to really put that into play. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited on how this is going to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully for the side of WAG, they're ready to take this on. It is not going to be an easy challenge, for sure. If anything, it's going to be one of the tallest mountains to climb, taking out Falcons on their home ground. The only teams that have done that are Thai teams, mostly. From other regions, it's pretty tough feat.
Yeah, let's see though. Let's see if they will be able to do this battle and stretch it over to game 3, because so far the order of the map is it's just perceiving that it's Bermuda, like from OG to a newer map, and this gives more opportunity in that game number 3 to keep us guessing as to who's going to win if they get to that level.
Yeah, and it also basically takes us back to the basics, right? How much mastery does the team have on these long-standing maps? It's easy to say that team is Falcons, and I would agree with it wholeheartedly. For WAG, they are the ones that are not favored, neither by the crowd or I think by general consensus. Why? WAG recover from yesterday. And in their series, I would say that they have shown us that they can play from behind, and that's how they sort of beat Fluxo. And if they get put in a position where they are behind against Team Falcons, then let's see if that resilience is going to pay off again.
Let's see though. I mean, looking at what we have in the draft right now, Cassie, or rather Sane, has been taken out, and they're not quite sure which one is it. Was it Sane being taken out or Sane or Cassie being taken out? But regardless what it is, it seems like what's on screen in terms of images are most viable for Team Falcons.
Yeah. This makes a lot more sense if you have a Cassie and Tatsuya. So that's something that I would like to lean into a lot more. But for WAG, this does feel like them, right? The Oscar, the Santino, the Clue, and then the Iris. Not the Iris, well in this case the A124. I say. Very information based, but something that I can definitely see WAG getting very comfortable with.
All right, let's see though. Let's see. As we wait for the battle to begin, and I guess for some of the graphics to be corrected, if there's any need for correction, I guess we are also set to start this game. I'm really excited on how this is going to turn up because, again, a lot of expectation from both teams, a lot of expectation for WAG, I would say, because as much as we want to bring Team Falcons down, they won't go down that easily. So I want to see WAG step up just to make sure that Team Falcons are still left on their toes.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not about trying to beat the team per se. Of course, victory is the eventual goal, but you also want to make your opponents work for the win. And I think that's kind of the nature of competition, right? No one wants to go out on a, like getting 0-6. But if we give it your all and make Falcons work for it, even the loss wouldn't feel as bad. In this case, Falcons are, again, crowd favorites. Pretty sure the Thai fans are very, very prepared to go the whole night. Yesterday, we weren't able to have all of them stay because, we literally ended past the twilight hour. But today being a special occasion and with this semi-finals and leading into the grand finals after this, I bet the fans will want to know who wins it all, as we already are guaranteed a Thai team in the grand finals either way.
Especially for those of you who aren't here, just joining the relive. Hopefully you are enjoying the opening as well because it's about to start. Team Falcons right now on the roll, and this is what we're talking about. At some point, you need to stick together in the shuriken round. Explorer peeking out a little bit too early, but On Fire popping that time turner just to make sure they have an opening for that airdrop. And On Fire already has that sight on him. And with 3 players in front of them, they might be able to go for the finisher. PLS1 is already down. Tikui about to go down, but On Fire will be damaged as well.
I would see that Balin Dash actually bump Keroro away, and still it's going to be Keroro that pulls out the round. Nothing can stop him. That's 3 in a row for Keroro. Shuriken round going over to the side of Team Falcons. Pretty much expected with the opening that they had, but I would say that WAG were able to stop Falcons despite the utilities that was invested by Team Falcons to try and aggress. WAG bought time, but just were not able to win the subsequent skirmishes.
See, though, I mean, that is shuriken round. Most of the time, even the strongest team can lose that. But as we look into this next round, WAG don't have that much utility, but has a potential to pull out that Deagle. And on the other side, we have Mini Uzi being brought in. On Fire, a little too close. Tikui already taking the rooftop, and then with that Deagle can bring in a lot of damage. Keroro already on the flank, potential backstab, but oversight from Tikui. Not quite sure if he's seen the flank being done, but a regroup is bound to happen, and Tikui goes down, being eliminated by skill.
Yeah, the movement of On Fire really keeping WAG guessing. Usually you drop off the side of the rope, but On Fire went the other way, and just like that, WAG lost 3 of their members in a heartbeat at this 4, so no chance this time. Falcons 2-0. Things going according to a prediction so far.
See though, 2-0. It's looking like Team Falcons still on the same roll. Want to show that everyone that Clash Squad is that easy for them. and it looks like it. So far in this game, we only have 2 casualties for the side of Team Falcons. On Fire as well as Potato, but it doesn't translate to WAG really getting so much. But there's a little bit of bonus though that they can get that would help them gear themselves up in terms of weaponry. So Decoy, trying to focus, Fireball Jutsu from On Fire, but the backstab is bound to happen. And On Fire with that time turner, just make sure that he will be able to keep himself safe.
This round's already done. So it's 3 rounds in a row for the side of Team Falcons. PLS1 getting a knock onto Keroro. Trying to take the weaponry away from Team Falcons, but with Keroro getting rescued, PLS1 has too much on his hands. The explosive charms gonna be used to try and flush PLS1 out into the open. Keroro is just gonna hunt for him.
See though. There goes the finishing blow. And, well, I mean, Team Falcons still saving up. Despite of them losing 2 matches already, this is the 3rd. They are not investing that much in weaponry because they know that even WAG is not investing as well. And this is that moment that I think they can put in a lot more of firepower, especially as you can see it's 4K to the side of WAG. So Mag 7 will be pulled out by Xbor. And for those of you who's just joining and seeing the battle of Clash Squad for WAG, I need to point out that there's a switch in roles between Xbor as well as PLS1. So Xbor would be the rusher or part of the rusher crew, and PLS1 is like standing in as a sniper.
Oh, yeah. Quick getting knocked down by the W again. Cyrus also not doing too fine. It's just nothing is going the way of WAD so far. We see that Dash on fire. He did copy the abandoned dash, I believe. So there's already a double for on fire. X4 next on the shopping block. Team Falcons just put WAG in front of a firing squad, and PLS1 again, last man alive, nowhere to go, and not knowing what to do.
Yeah, not knowing as anything that he can do against this. Does have the escape, but a one shot will not work that much on a spray coming from that mini Uzi. And it's not just one who's shooting at him. There's a lot. There's all players in there. So as quickly as this, it's already 4-0, and looks like WAG has no response to what Team Falcons is doing.
Not at all. Team Falcons seems like they're on track to speed run again. I mean, they did that against Lost yesterday. They sped run the very first round before doing it against BRU, and that BRU was the only team that showed any sort of resistance, and forcing Falcons to play a lot more respectfully. And it came down to a couple of clutches before Falcons closed out that series, but WAG have yet to put Falcons in that position where they had to try extra hard. Maybe X4 is going to start that chain reaction. Down Potato goes. The fire pulls out the side, wins out the fight against Chico. This guy, man fires the gun with a blade. X4 and beyond, one left. X4 gets basically barbecue with the fireball just on fire. Now gets to select and reap the souls of WAG members. It's 5-0 for Falcons.
The effort of Xbor being denied right there. He went in for a good flank against Potato, but the follow through is not that strong. And if in case they just managed to keep their distance against On Fire, it could have been a different story because he was just a sliver of health, and a combination of more shots coming from WAG could have taken him down, and all they had to do is just wait for Kuroro as well as Limit. But no, they're still up. Everyone's still alive, a lot of weapon on them, and WAG is a loss. PLS1 though will be handed an AWM, but he will be going in, or not going in for the flank, together with, or against Limit. So let's see though, On Fire a little too aggressive. He wants to get close, he wants to use that, but the pull that he is going to use against Cyrus, probably not damaging him, but it's a different skill that did so. This is what he needs if we want to get that elimination by sight.
Potato has support from On Fire, so they're willing to take that fight straight to WAG. They use the repair kit just a little bit. Potato finding some solace, some time and space just to gear up for a second round. Cyrus and Tikoi needing to heal up right now, but Falcons will just take the perimeter. Cyrus on the left side somehow gets sniped. Kuroro finds the angle. And that is go time. Kuroro now first wants to fight head on. Tikoi challenges him, and Tikoi barely edges it out with 4 HP to try and wrestle WAG back into the game.
There you have it. PLS1 has been taken down with that dash, and it's now left Tikoi and Xbor. Xbor is still showing great significance on the sniper, despite of giving up that roll to PLS1. But Tikoi right now, rush doesn't work. Potato just did a 180 to bring him down with a max 7. Xbor doesn't have that opening, but up close and personal might be able to take one. But what can he do against the rest with that sight being brought in to scare him out? On Fire goes down, but Xbor is still alive and kicking a quick pick up and a quick scope from Limit to end game number 1.
Talk about a speed run. Falcons merciless from the get-go basically just butchered WAG. They didn't give them any chance to retaliate. No playmaking potential. It's not even WAG's fault. It's just Falcons being way too good for WAG to handle in this game 1. And sadly for WAG, they don't really have much time to think about match number 2. I don't think the draft was an issue. I just think that Falcons outclassed WAG in many facets of that game.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't really point out any mistakes being done with WAG. It just so happens that before they even make that mistake, Team Falcons already know how to move against them. And it's because of the speed run that has been done. It's the understanding of Clash Squad. If there will be a major tournament involving just Clash Squad, I'm pretty sure Team Falcons will do this every time. And again, I'm still hoping that WAG can bring this on. One game is not enough, or is enough to find out like any weaknesses for the side of Team Falcons. But if WAG continues this role, we might end it as a 2-0 favoring Team Falcons.
Yeah, and if Falcons get to quote-unquote continue and speedrun this series, it actually benefits Falcons too, because then they get to conserve a lot of that energy and focus on the grand finals afterwards. So, but for WAG, the uphill battle just became harder, right? Even if they win against Falcons in a reverse sweep fashion, it's gonna take a lot out of them. But they have to get past the hurdle of just getting 6-0 by Team Falcons before being able to do anything. It really felt like they weren't really given the chance to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of denials being done. It's just the quickness and how quick Team Falcons is with their movements. Not only that, not only with the movements, but with the skill usage as well as the jutsu usage. We've seen that so much. You couldn't even point it out because it's done in a swift manner that even WAG don't know what was happening. As we look into the scoreboard right now, it is a 6-0. Not so much a fight has been done. Only 4 elimination has been put out by WAG compared to the number of points, number of elimination as well as damage. But I'm pretty sure On Fire will be at the top right now as MVP, not only with the accuracy, but also with that slice and dice.
Yeah. I mean, for Limit, you know, even though he has 4 eliminations, Limit did not go down at all this game. That's how, how dominant, I guess, that, how dominant the players of Falcons are, essentially, right? Not being punished at all. It really felt like they were not tested. I feel like there's any need for them to feel any sort of worries if you're a Team Falcons.
Yeah, there's no pressure indeed for Limit. He's always keeping the distance as a sniper, and the rest of the team, On Fire, Kororo, Potato, just making sure that he will not be left alone. That's often a problem that we see on a sniper if they're losing a round. But Team Falcons not losing any of the rounds from that match, and we are heading into the next match in Kalahari, another playground. Not only for Limit, but also for Kororo in the accuracy department.
And this gets very scary for WAG because Falcons have demonstrated that they can not only speedrun, but when it comes to accuracy itself, rifles aren't the only weapon that they are good at. We've seen Kororo pop heads from long range with a revolver, with a Deagle of all things.
Oh yeah.
MVP this game is going to be On Fire too. 9 eliminations, of course. Going to be special shout out to the supporting cast. I think everyone did their job way too well.
Yeah, I mean, way too well that they didn't even break a sweat in that game. They didn't break a sweat. They were just still smiling at that point. And, well, it doesn't damage, hopefully it doesn't damage the morale of WAG because that's one important factor. I think it was it like, in other tournaments, when every time Vietnam takes an L, it just goes spiraling down at this point. But as we go into the elimination leaderboard, well, On Fire is on the lead, followed by Kororo, Potato, Limit, as well as the rest is not even close though. But there's no chance for them to really stack up on elimination because there's only six matches that they played.
Yeah, it's not because they're not good enough, it's because they're too good. so they're not able to rack up on that KD numbers. But I want to echo what your sentiment, right? I agree. I think for the Vietnamese regions, there are a lot of times that we've seen this region rise and fall, but in the times that they fall, you can see that the ramifications. It feels the punch feels hurts a lot more for the Vietnamese region, right? Because it felt like they've always been trying to keep up, and there were moments where they actually kind of overtook Indonesia by a little bit, but it's only for a brief moment. But we also seen them at their lowest, where at one point Malaysian teams were beating Vietnamese teams, and Expand was the first team and first and only team to do that. I think right now they are in this awkward middle spot where they're definitely not good enough to compare to the Thais. The Indonesians are better than them, but they are still struggling to fit into that conversation because they're not qualifying for the big stage. And that's what WAG wants to achieve here.
And hopefully that is a motivation, not just for WAG, but other Vietnamese team as well. Because you know how that motivation worked from last year as PE Sports has been introduced to the EWC. It's just like boosted teams like WAG, Team Heavy, and a lot more to perform even better. It's just for this year that we are not seeing that because specifically it's again going back to the scenario that it's not the downfall of some of the strong teams from Thailand. It's just the uprising of the other teams like Indonesia, as you pointed out. They're just growing a lot stronger, and since Vietnam is in that middle part, who's still confused if they're going up or down, they're being left behind.
And not only that, it's also I think on top of that is also the fact that the Brazilians, the Latin Americans, and to a certain degree, the Saudi Arabians are also performing pretty well, right? Like,
yeah,
when we look at the global scheme, when we look past Southeast Asia, it's fair to say that Brazil is doing pretty darn well when compared them to Vietnam. I think teams like Movistar R7 have a lot of promises, so that also is another region that is showing up big time on the main stage. And then the more you look at it, the more you start to wonder if Vietnam is considered number 3 in SEA. When we put them on the global stage, are they still number 3?
Yeah, great question indeed. Well, we'll have to find out though, and if there's anything they can do about that. But let's focus back into Clash Quad, and hopefully everyone will keep that in point, because that storyline of regions performing, the placement that they have in terms of teams and regions ranking is something that we need to consider as well, because it looks like with other countries and servers being reactivated, there's a huge chance the storyline can grow even further. The storyline can grow even longer, because there's a lot more of options to look into. And if you're not evolving, if you're not performing in like match after match, tournament after tournament, then you will be left behind.
In this case for WAG, they have a lot of slack to pick up for sure. It's now devastating 6-0. Usually a lot of teams don't come back from those kind of losses. And teams that do are usually those that have experienced enough losses to get over it. WAG getting their hands on the Ignis. It's been quite a while since we've seen Ignis today. It was enabled at the start of the day and then afterwards banned out or just flat out ignored. But for Team Falcons, we got that double rusher, Tatsuya Oscar, give him a chrono to back him up in the hands of Potato. And then on top of that, we got Santino for Limit 2.
Yeah, it seems like Team Falcons doesn't want to slow down, and that's the skill itself. There's no slowing down if you have a Tatsuya as well as an Oscar, can even break through glue walls as easy as that, as a push button, and then limit X7, well, letting go of that glue, letting go of that Iris, and is now using that Santino. So it's still a viable approach for a passive or passive aggressive combination. But for WAG right now, it seems like they're aiming for somewhere in the middle as well, similar to Team Falcons, but in a stronger manner, but not faster.
think the first round is going to give us a very good indicator. Maybe not the first round, the second round. Safe to assume that Falcons, with their dominance, is going to take the first round. But if they win the second round after that, in the same fashion like they did in Game 1, then WAG are going to be in a lot of trouble.
So, they can get away from that trouble because WAG is already in trouble of losing out in this game. Team Falcons up by 1. And, well, again, I have my hopes for WAG, but hopefully they make it quite different this time around. Make it as if they can hold a little bit longer in this fight. So, well, we are prepping right now, and hopefully we'll be seeing signs of life from WAG. And which map would this be again? This is Kalahari. So a good chance for PLS1 and X4 to use that sniper once again. A double sniper would work right here, mid part to later part of the game, if they can bring in all of those economy for their side.
No, absolutely. And I think overall, if you are on the side of WAG, you gotta start thinking about quickly think about what went wrong in the previous round, and afterwards think about adjustments for this round. I think the adjustment had to be trying to stop Falcons from going too fast. Again, BRU was the only team that found some semblance of success yesterday, and even then, there's only so much that they could hold back on Falcons before they get overwhelmed.
Cito, there you go. Hearing the cue. Battle's about to begin. Let's see who's going to start it strong. Again, Shuriken round would be a starting point between these two teams, and we just want to see if WAG has what it takes to give a good fight against Team Falcons. And last time we saw them play, it is in from June, from the spring season, and Team Falcons just brought it all the way. Kalahari though, WAG put in a great fight, so they managed to bring the fight to round 11.
Yeah. Right off the bat, we see that Ignis, same Mirage being thrown through Potato, just tanks it. Except the time turner, so runs in and out. Not sure if he looted the box though. They couldn't make that difference. Ice grenade thrown now from Potato, trying to funnel WAG into a vacuum. Limit Kororo capitalize on that, and that's already 2 down for the side of WAG. And they know where X4 is. X4 finding Potato, but that's all he gets. Shuriken round going over to Falcons as expected.
Yeah, I mean, not even a confirmation on Potato at that point. And one thing I would say is, with that delay in the movement on the airdrop, made them lose out on that side. The side was not used that well, but if in case they grab it, I'm pretty sure WAG will just head straight on to Team Falcons, the 2 players from Team Falcons, and start those knockdowns. But, well, they missed that opportunity. There's still a good chance right now. And as you can see, we have 3 Deagles being put in by WAG and 1 mini Uzi. So it costs the same, so there's not so much of damage in terms of economy. But let's see on what rotation will be done. It's a 3-1 split right now for both teams, but one player, PLS1, might be caught off guard.
He's gonna make his move right now, but might put himself in the line of sight of Limits if he backs off any further out of that building, out of this compound. Limits should see this. X4 actually getting a knock. An elimination onto On Fire. Turning the situation around. Limit gets detected. Needs to turn his attention onto X4 first. Kororo on the flank, spotted by T-Quaid. Maybe WAG can finally find the first round in the series. Limit taking up PLS1 still. Numbers favor WAG. Potato springs into the action. If they can get rid of Potato, then Limit will become an afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, X-Bor is already listening into the footsteps, but I'm pretty sure Limit is given that information as well. A backstab is potential, especially focus is on Limit. And Potato will be going down. Limit X7 with only a few HP remaining, and there's still 3 alive. There we have it. An equalizer from WAG, signs of life overall, and I guess they want to stick with that script. Get it close as possible to end it to 11 rounds.
Yeah. the first round in the entire series. It took them 8 rounds to score their first point, but better late than never. At least they stopped any potential snowball. The target acquisition was great from the side of WAG, because we can see the plan from Team Falcons and what they wanted to do in that game, in that round. WAG didn't let it happen.
See though, what else can they make happen? Aurora Vision has been triggered already. And Tikui for spray into the time turner, but Tikui goes down. Here comes Keroro going in for the push. Shots onto X-Bor. A lot of miss though, but it's Keroro who goes in for the finisher. Now, it's a 2v2 situation as Potato has gone down. That they can use that as a bait. Cyrus is already recovered. And PLS1 putting so much of pressure, but if Keroro gets an angle, this might be it. Keroro moving in from below. Potato will be confirmed. Cyrus will be taken down, but grabs an 8WM. PLS1 got a whiff of the position and more firepower coming from PLS1, but not so much of damage compared to what Keroro has brought in.
And Cyrus and PLS1 also not too healthy too. PLS1 playing very, very far back. Regroup with Cyrus. Santino switcheroo brings Limit onto the low ground. This has happened out of vision of WAG, so they have no idea that this is happening. Limit could end up being a difference maker, but seems like he'll just take an honest fight. Limit up on top of the roof. Keroro trying to come out from down below. The Flaming Rush use Limit again, relocate to the Santino. PLS1 caught off guard, but Cyrus did find Limit either way. And PLS1 somehow survives Keroro. Now Keroro will have to make each shot count. Ooh. Finds the first one, turns around for the 180. That's the dash to Tatsuya, but Cyrus finds the correct angle. And WAG up 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1, but with loss for 2 of the players. But it's a good thing that PLS1 was not confirmed. So he will maintain, he will keep that Kingfisher, or probably give it out, but they still have economy to play with. And I'm loving this version of WAG. I'm quite sure if it's the map or if it's something else. Probably they've seen something that they can use as a counter against a Team Falcons, and it's showing up right now. Keroro on to the flank together with Potato and Nextbor already spotting them, but this would be deadly up close and personal, meaning Uzi would have a good fire rate, but against that MP5 the damage would be crucial. A copy skill to pull out that time turner as well, but pushing away PLS1 just to make sure he doesn't go for the backup.
Oh yeah. That X4 and Cyrus going down, so Limit now numbers now favor Falcons. Tikoi also gets taken out as well. Potato looking to turn it around. They want to equalize the Falcons, and I think they have achieved it. PLS1 still trying to find his bearings, as his teammates have already been eliminated. Potato just waits when it comes through. Takes the 1v1, makes it 2v1, comes around the corner, every single angle covered. Falcons up to find the equalizer 2-2.
Right, Keroro Factor is back in play. Just Deagle all the way. And there's no waiting in buying any other weapon unless he fails miserably. I think twice or thrice. That would be the prompt for him to use a different weapon. But for now, he doesn't have that much economy because he's putting it in utilities as well as armor, probably helping his teammates to grab all of those weapons. Because as you can see, on fire with that Groza as well as an MP5 combination. So deadly at long range and deadly at a fire rate in the close range as well. So Cyrus right now using that Flam Barrage to protect or to hide their presence. The glue wall is something that they shouldn't have put up if they want really to sneak in.
Yeah, On Fire is... I was surprised they didn't push the Ignis wall any further, so On Fire actually gets to stay where he is. In fact, even Relocate uses that wall as his own cover. And now the question is, does WAG know about the relocation? That's going to be very important. If you lose track of On Fire right now, he could end up shooting you in the back. But On Fire has to reveal himself and go straight in for the rush with the Valiant Dash. It does pay off despite the time turner from WAG. Tikui playing some footsies, but the execution from Falcons is just a bit too clean. Even for WAG's best attempt at defense, Falcons takes control of the game.
Yeah, Team Falcons taking control, and that's one thing. For those of you who hasn't played against a chrono, against a time turner, what you can do right now, just step in to the time turner, and you'll be able to go for a spray, and even the copy skill will help them to protect themselves from being backstabbed, and that's what On Fire did. And from what we've seen so far, Kiroro will still stay the same. Though they lost 2 matches already, he did grab so many eliminations overall, and they're still confident to go for that Deagle run.
That's how you know that they are confident. That's how you know that Falcons are sure that they are going to win. See that Mini Uzi, AWM, M1887, Explore being challenged and limit. Sniped him. Potato also finds one. This round almost done. Unless WAG can find a big clutch. Potato going down. That seems to be the case. Fireball Jutsu getting used. Kiroro is watching it all go down. Tiko is in the bubble as well. On fire, takes out Cyrus and suddenly recovering a teammate. Doesn't sound so nice. Ooh. Again, Falcons finding the exact angle and hitting it where it hurts.
Yeah, definitely. It hurts a lot. And they gave that hope to WAG that they can fight back. But as you can see right now, especially with each win that Team Falcons is taking, they're putting in a different force against WAG. Even the hopes of going for the pickup has been denied right now. So WAG will need to try something different. Tikui has that M590, but yes, this is a good spot to use it, but not so much to really get close and personal. PLS1 right now attempts to go for a snipe, but receives the damage otherwise.
First blood.
Things are looking pretty gloom for WAG for sure, with Cyrus being removed already. And this rush, look at that Tikui. He's trying to take the fight. They find Potato. Now there's a chance. Export supporting him from behind. The brother-in-arms of WAG finds an equalizer onto Falcons. Kiroro not done just yet. Now sees Export to the cross and needs to win this one. Export! Indeed he does. Still, in the grand scheme of things, they are outnumbered.
So, you know, if they can bring that number to the equalizer, PLS1 is nowhere close to be picked up. But Kiroro is a different story. But here we go, Potato right now, Max 7 in hand. Missed the opportunity for backstab just because of a glue wall. And he is now in trouble on a 3v1 situation. Despite of having a level 3 MP5, he will be taken down.
We're probably seeing the sunset moment of WAG. They lose this next round, we're gonna get a tie finals. It'd be a shabby run for WAG to end in 3rd and 4th place, considering that they had to overcome Fluxo to get to this point. And by the will of the bracket, facing off against the best team in this mode. And putting up a valiant fight. Mammoth will be the potential deciding location for this final round.
Yeah, I mean, good position being taken by Cyrus and Tikui to prevent Potato to head straight on them. But they do have some coverage on the other side to be able to defend against Limit, who's already going for the flank. But Cyrus doesn't have that much of an angle, and it's also distracted by Potato at this point. But X-Bor right now can take this angle if he has an opening against On Fire. Limit X7 already close for that pinch, and Cyrus not being hit just yet, and even Tikui. So it might be Team Falcons who will be going down, but Cyrus has been taken down as well. Tikui eliminated, and it's now a 2v3 situation. In spite of On Fire being knocked down, it still is a challenge for WAG.
2v3, there is a chance. PLS1 on the low ground. Completely isolated from X-Bor. So now it comes out to the individual prowess. Can they win these 1v1s? Karovo does get tagged, and PLS1 needs to look for conversion. Doesn't have the angle to find it, and Limit is free hitting X-Bor. Looks up a bit too late, and Limit whittles down the numbers to just PLS1. Few rookie snipers left on the board up against one of the best in the world. Doesn't seem like the odds are in his favor. Too much to go through, and Team Falcons, they proceed to the grand finals with a destined date against BRU. We saw the preview yesterday on how that went down when Falcons won 2-1. But now they get more screen time in a best of 5 against BRU.
And more screen time, and I guess if this is planned for Buriram United, there's more story to tell for them. Team Falcons doesn't want to go that route. They want to go straight in. They want to go straight in there, as most of the win has been grabbed by this team. So they will be, I would say, the upper seed in this competition on that grand finals. But well, as much as we want to see Vietnam goes to the grand finals on the grandest grand finals, well, we are left with Thailand versus Thailand in Thailand.
Talk about the grandness, the best case scenario, I guess, for the Thailand squad. Bit of a heartbreak. Commiserations to the Vietnamese fans. And of course, an extension extended to Yun Sul. Would have loved to see WAG in the final, so we get more a rivalry that transcends the game, but also onto the stage. But that's one final bout from WAG as they make their exit, finish 3rd and 4th in this tournament.
Well, there you have it. We now know who will be getting into the grand finals. A Team Falcons who doesn't seem phased at any moment in all the matches that they went against, even against Buriram United. But this grand finals is a different story. It's not just a battle of strength and power. It's more of endurance as well, because we might be seeing a lot more of, how can I say this, a marathon in this best of 5.
Yeah, BRU lost yesterday in a full best of 3, but if we ever go to a full series, maybe that endurance game is going to pan out in BRU's favor, right? Again, we saw how Falcons, they were winning crucial rounds, and the only reason that Falcons even got to this point where they beat BRU was because that they had clutch factors. But BRU today, Moshi was the clutch factor when they were up against Lost. So maybe that is the key. BRU were not able to find their clutch yesterday, and today they have identified that individual in the form of Moshi. So if that translated, carry forward into the grand finals, I think we're in for a very interesting best of 5.
Yeah, very interesting and very long best of 5, because I don't think anyone from both teams will be accepting a 3-0 loss at this point. Especially they are on home ground. There's a lot of supporters coming from both sides, so even the fans out there will be confused as to who they are going to cheer on, who's going to win, and this is what we love. If you are going in onto that final battle, who would you choose? Of course, those from fresh ground.
Yeah, and I think in this case, BRU, I feel like even backstage, they are expecting this to be the case. They probably have already done the prep to, have already been prepping to face off against Falcons even before we saw the result of that series. It's currently 9 p.m. 10 minutes, 9:10 p.m. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's 9 p.m. okay, over at 9:10 over at Thailand at the Central World. So just in time for a late night grand finals for all of the fans who are still present. Today we're making good on that promise. We want to see an ending. We get the best possible show for all of the attendees.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the best show overall. Hopefully everyone sticks with us. Not only on the stage, but also those on chat right now. I know we had to make some changes to make sure everything is captured towards the end, because best of 5s, we don't want to miss any of those games. So for those of you that I've been chatting with in the comment section, thank you very much for all the support. Me and Husky, thanks you for all the support. And we would love to give all the best action as well as the best shoutcasting in this day, especially as we are heading into the grand finals, a best of 5 series between two Thailand Titans, which is Buriram United and Team Falcons. We've seen this before, but I'm pretty sure the ending would be different.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time. Your classic David versus Goliath, right? The two superstars of the Thailand region. I mean, I say the two superstars, but some people forget that Falcons wasn't there from the very beginning. It was actually attack all around. Falcons was more of a latest addition from 2024. If you go a bit further back, 2023 when we had C-Triple-G, but even then they were more of a fresh face than a contender for the top spot against BRU. Coincidentally enough, that was also we were introduced to players such as Wasana, such as Saming under Magic Esports or Magic. I think it's Magic Esports, Magic Squad. We had similar that in Thailand before they split up. And then we get a reverse raid for Saming, and then BRU for Wasana. It's a whole legacy. And then when we got the Team Falcons, it quickly rose to fame by winning EWC Spring 2024 and becoming a contender that could rival BRU.
Great storyline overall. I mean, a team who is not even there for a long time. But we're going to go for a quick break. When we return, we're going to go and meet two teams heading into the grand final. So stay back, sit back, and we'll be right back as well.
First blood.
Right next to us is our very festive day one of the Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Tournament. Okay, so right in front of us, as you can see, so many standees, and I wonder like who's your favorite characters here? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So So it's very fun part for everyone who likes to take pictures or something like that. You can sit here. Oh,
Yeah, we can take a picture in this food and get the photo.
okay, so we can try it. Oh,
Wow,
oh, so cute.
it's so cute.
Next food is clay birds.
Yes.
So you can see that there are many clays here. So if you are a fan of art, definitely we can provide you some clay here to make the toys that you want to. Alright, next booth, Madara weapon. So right behind us is a Madara. Hold this Madara and try to hunt down 3 targets. Ooh! Okay, painting kunai on scroll. As you can see on Meg's hands, there will be a kunai, and you can freely express yourself, drawing colors, making your own design. We will scan for you, and your kunai will show on the screen like this. And welcome to Free Fire Landing. You guys play the games already, right? Free Fire. So we will jump somewhere.
Oh,
Wait, is that safe?
yeah, it is.
Alright,
So,
okay, so both of us we're in safe zone, so we're okay now. Alright then, it's time for who loves kunai. Your mission is to throw the kunai right into the circle, and you have 3 chances.
First, whoa,
I cannot.
Really? Second. Okay.
Okay, your chance.
Oh!
Okay, it's really hard, but I think you guys can nail it. So come and do for us, please. To the next booth, Fireball Jutsu. In Naruto, we have so many hand signs
Yes.
to becoming so many things, right? So do you know any hand signs? Okay, this is for you. Behind me, Akatsuki emote. You know that in Free Fire we have so many emotes, right? Please come to us, join right here in Central World, 8th floor, right?
Yeah.
On the 8th floor here in Bangkok. We are so happy to have you guys here. Come.
มาแล้วค่ะคุณผู้ชมคะช่วงเวลาที่ทุกท่านรอคอยมากที่สุด นั่นก็คือคู่ของแกรนด์ไฟนอลค่ะ และจะเป็นการแข่งขันกัน เรียกได้ว่าเดจาวูหรือเปล่านะทีมไทยพบกับทีมไทยนั่นก็คือบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ด Esports เจอกับทีม Falcons ค่ะ
Finally, at the end, we have come to our grand finals. At this moment, everything got defeated, and only 2 left, all trying the best to get this beautiful trophy and as well the championship for our Ninja Clash tonight. And those teams are all Thailand. Buriram United Esports versus Team Falcons.
ซึ่งตอนนี้พี่กีต้องบอกเลยว่าพี่กีเองก็รู้สึกแบบเดียวกับคุณผู้ชมที่ดูอยู่ทั้งออฟไลน์และออนไลน์แน่นอนนั่นก็คือรู้สึกตื่นเต้นมากๆเราเลือกเชียร์ไม่ถูกกันเลยทีเดียวแต่ว่าตอนนี้ค่ะได้เวลาไปพบกับพวกเขากันแล้วนะคะและทีมแรกของเรา Buriram United Esports
And I do believe that even if you are in an offline event with us or online watching us through the live stream, I believe that you guys feel really happy and excited to see our team playing the last match to see who is the champion. Let's welcome first Buriram United Esports!
นี่ก็เป็นไทยสไตล์เหลือเกินค่ะ และแน่นอนค่ะได้เวลาไปพบกับคู่แข่งของเขากันแล้วกับทีม Falcon
Welcome next to the stage, their opponents, Team Falcons. I don't know here. Woo!
และแน่นอนค่ะ ตอนนี้นักกีฬาของเราทั้ง 2 ทีมนะคะ มาอยู่ตรงหน้านี้แล้วก่อนที่จะเข้าสู่การแข่งขันสนุกสุดมัน เรามาเช็คแฮนด์กันก่อนเข้าโพสิชันกันหน่อยดีกว่า เอาเลยจ้า มา
Alright, our two teams is here. Come and shake your hands and get prepared for your first match.
แหวฉันแอบได้ยินนะ คุณแอบตกลงอะไรกันระหว่างเดินจับมือน่ะแน่อะไรนะอะไร20202020อะไรหรือเปล่าอ่ะบอกเลยค่ะว่าไหนๆก็เป็นคู่แกรนด์ไฟนอลแล้ว พี่กิอยากได้แบบเต็ม 3 เกมได้ไหมแล้วเต็มแบบ 11 จะเราอยู่กันถึงแบบตี 1ไหวไหมคะโอ้ได้ค่ะโอ้โหไม่สู้เลยยายดิวเอ้ยอ่ะเพราะฉะนั้นตอนนี้ค่ะไม่ต้องรอช้าไปดูเกมสนุกสุดมันกันเลย
Alright then, since this is our last game, only Buriram United Esports or Falcons can make it to the last stage, which is the champion for our Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Tournament. Who is your favorite, everyone? Please cheer for them! Alright then, and now let's head back to our caster and start the first game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is what everyone has been waiting for, even from yesterday. The Free Fire All-Stars Ninja Clash 2025 Pro CS Clash between two titans in Thailand. Buriram United and Team Falcons, the joining of Clash Squad in Free Fire.
Yeah, this is something that I feel like a lot of teams, a lot of fans out there have been expecting from the start. We kind of saw a preview of that. We kind of knew that this was going to happen, but we wanted to believe that there would be a new contender. Alas, that was not the case. Falcons and BRU stormed their way through the bracket in their own manner. And in fact, Falcons had to make BRU work a bit harder to get to this grand finals, but here they are. The destination still has been reached. Now Falcons wants to see if they can take down BRU for the second time in an actual grand finals bout. Best of 5 coming up.
Yeah, longer route might not be easy for Buriram United. We've seen some struggles overall compared to what we've seen Team Falcons did in those winning rounds. But again, it has come down to this, and I don't think Buriram United will take another loss in this rematch for the Ninja Clash 2025 for Free Fire. So we are just setting up for the next battle to begin. I'm pretty sure fans out there, especially in the comment section, is already cheering on both teams. Some Team Falcons, some Buriram United, even for those in the crowd on the venue in Central World Thailand, they are cheering for both teams because they are on home ground. But yeah, this is where the pressure lies. There's a lot of expectation for Buriram United to go against Team Falcons, but you did mention that for the first time that they went against each other, it's Team Falcons who grabbed the win. That was a best of 3. If Buriram United can take another point, and we're talking about, I think, the same map. If not, there might be a few more maps added right here, but if we will use that as reference, there's a lot of changes that will be done by Buriram United just to make sure that they don't go down that easily.
Yeah, and I think another added factor to that is also when they played their series yesterday, it was pretty late into the night, so there's no factor of having an actual crowd cheering, right? The people watching online, sure, but the live crowd, they weren't present at that moment. I think everyone had to leave the mall. But today, it's very different. We get the grand final setting. Crowds are in. The people are in the crowds, pretty much it's a full house. The activities are still going on. And not only that, again, we've seen the KOLs, we've seen the talents from overseas there. I'm pretty sure Camiliota is there cooking up a storm, even though Lost or Fluxo are no longer in the tournament. But at the end of the day, we're all here for the love of the game. And what better way to kind of celebrate it than have an audience witness you lift the trophy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the audience right now are on fire, on their toes as well, looking forward to who's going to pop off this time around, who's going to grab that scroll, that title in this game, in this show match. And yes, this is a show match, but it involves a huge prize pool as well. And this is what we love from Free Fire, because they've already put so much of effort into the details of the stage, of those booths, even broadcast overall. But there we have it. We have our map pool right now, and it starts off with Purgatory. So we have Purgatory, Nextera, Kalahari, Bermuda, and Solara. So 2 maps that has not been included that might be the game changer for the scene.
And that's what the best of 5. That's why the best of 5 series is so interesting, because we get introduced to 2 extra maps that we throughout the entire course of the tournament that we have not seen before. So we have no idea how these teams are going to perform on them. And if we ever get to a game 5, we head into Solara too, which is something that we kind of teased about yesterday. If ever they just add Solara into the pool and we get to see Solara, well, we have to go the full stretch to get there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, what a way to end it in Solara. But as you can see right now, Team Falcons want to take away Ignis from the pick. And let's see what will be the response of Team Buriram United right now. Oscar will be taken out. So it's not as if they've used Oscar to perfection, but they just don't want to deal with an Oscar right now. It's tough to go for the battle, trying to defend yourself with a glue wall, with someone just waiting to pull the trigger to break them down and knock you back.
Yeah. So we get the Chrono first pick for the BRU. We can expect a Tatsuya to be the case. Usually teams might want to consider taking that away from the Cassie, but I think BRU has come up with a different approach to that, right? We've seen a lot of success that they got with the Zane, and sure, you have a Tatsuya rushing at you, but the durability is going to give you a fighting chance to survive that first pop regardless. Santino over to Limit, that one pretty much expected. That means that the Tatsuya also gets given over to Falcons.
Yeah, there you have it. I mean, Tatsuya and Cassie combination, pretty much like the front runner in this game, but it will be a response of a Coda right now for Buriram United. So I guess Corona will be for Wasana, Sane will be for Get High, and Clue for Moshi and Jonah with that Coda. And the response to the other side for the final pick would be an Alok that we rarely see in these tournament of Clash Squad.
So the Clue goes over to BRU, they take that away, and there we go, Alok, first time ever. I believe yesterday we did have this conversation in the viability of DJ Alok, about how much that he can fit into the Clash Squad mode, and we have slightly differing opinions on that. Let's see, Falcons, if they make it work, it is going to be quite an eye-opener. Right? Curveballs can sometimes be the difference maker in a long series. Maybe for Team Falcons, they've been saving this for this exact moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to farm that aura for Alok, because the moment he dropped that beat, he creates a 5-meter aura that increases movement speed by 15%, and it restores 5 HP as well per second. So there is something that we rarely see, but it's also viable right now. On Fire will be the ones who is going to use that, and well, Kiroro right now would be the rusher. So fortunately, we will be seeing them in contention to the trio of Get High, Wasana, as well as Jonah. And you know how it is with snipers like Limit and Moshi. They will try to keep their distance, but there lies the problem though. There's a huge possibility that an isolation can be done, especially for the side of Team Falcons. The moment that you can spot Moshi onto the other side, you can just rush through on them, and then connected with that Cassie, you can go on a run to take him down.
wonder what the mindset of BRU is coming into this grand finals. Obviously, both teams are off quite a high momentum. I would argue that Team Falcons probably feel a lot more better with how they got to this point. And there's lesser weight on them, knowing that they have overcame BRU before yesterday, and they have that clutch factor. They really enabled that comeback. We saw how that sort of broke BRU a little bit in the latter half of the series. And this Ala could be that big difference maker. You have huge utility that can now facilitate any sort of aggression on top of that Cassie. And all its eyes will be on Kororo. And if he can pull off what he's been doing the entire tournament and pose himself as that main threat, then I think BRU will have to be double ready to face off against Falcons, especially in this opening game that could dictate the course of the rest of the best of 5.
The thing is, it's a bold move. If he will still use that, like the Kororo factor with a Deagle in this game against Buriram United. But yeah, I mean, they've shown that it's working. They've shown that he can be a target and he can target the opponent as well with a pistol in hand. But I think he will be putting in so much more in this game unless they don't find Buriram United as a huge threat in this battle.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. I mean, well, knowing Falcons, I know they like to have a lot of fun, but you know, the disrespect actually, ironically, when they disrespect someone, it stems from the respect that they give to the opponent, right? It's like those, you finally get that sweet leverage over a nemesis, and then you kind of spam emote them a little bit. I know we see that a lot in the Malaysian local league back then when there was still the English broadcast, where people would plant their flags over their fallen enemies. But outside of the game, is all, you know, all respect. Again, D-Long, one of the legacy players. I mean, this old guard, some people wonder when he is going to step away, but I dare say not anytime soon. This BRU still have a legacy that they want to keep on building.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot more that Buriram United has to do, and it's the promise of taking home the trophy back to Southeast Asia. But they failed in so many instances, and I don't think that journey is ending. So let's see. This might be a preview of how dominant Buriram United can be if needed to, and closing it with a champion, especially in Clash Quad against the CS champion of Southeast Asia. So this would be a statement that they can finish a game, probably a longer route, because even from some tournaments that we have in Battle Royale, they're not dominating game in the early on. They want to have, I would say, they don't want to show up that strong so that they will be underestimated by the opponents.
I think it's one of the few matchups that no matter how many times you replay it in any timeline, ever since their first encounter back in 2024, it always feels like there's going to be a different version of it, right? It never felt like it's going to be one-sided, even though it can look that way, but you can never be sure who is going to come out on top. At the end of the day, they are fighting for that Ninja Scroll as the grand prize, unlock maybe the secrets to win the rest of the season. It's also pretty fancy to put on that shelf in your headquarters. We head into the Shuriken round. Falcons against BRU.
Now, let's see though how they are going to play this. Everyone's sticking together, and Moshi right now taking the lead. Now, this is something else. We don't see Moshi going in there up front, but we can see the Santino already being pulled out, and the Time Turner as well to save a little bit. And the goal is to get to that airdrop. On fire already down. Potato already down as well, but Swans is to bring down Get High and Wasana, but Buriram United manage to go for that triple for Jonah, and they grab that Shuriken round.
Yeah. And you can see a hint of smile on Jonah's face as he looks at the rest of his team. It's like, hey, we're already off to a good start. All with the
a good start.
Yeah, High picking off on fire, and this is just straight up a bloodbath. Everyone from BRU, Managing to trade bodies, obviously, they
kill.
ended up getting the numbers advantage, and that's how they came out on top.
Now let's see though how Team Falcons will be responding to this. A little bit split up is being done right now. Buriram United, Get High will be left in here with Jonah. So I love the split that's being done by Buriram United right now. It's a mirror from what we're seeing. So it's great minds think alike, I would say. But with the firepower that Buriram United has, it would be difficult for Team Falcons to fight back that easily. Double deagle on them! And that's what they need! A combination of both, but a pickup has been quickly done, and one skill can bring them down. And it's just one grenade. Moshi right now
First blood.
on a roll with that double, and only Wasana has been knocked down but not confirmed, so they still keep their loot.
And that is already a very, very different story compared to the tale that we saw yesterday. And the expectations too, we said Moshi, he can be the clutch factor. Jonah now unlocks himself from the shackles and he now steps up to the occasion. We also saw some of the usage of frag grenades earlier on by R7 and Loss. We saw Moshi use that earlier on. It's an investment that takes a lot of trust and and planning, but when it works out, the payoff is incredibly big. On Fire did not stand a chance with Jonah just providing suppressing fire. The fireball juice lays out as well. Jonah lays out on Fire on the ground, and BRU again gains the man advantage.
Now, Wasana right now using an AWM up close and personal luck. Not quite sure what the ideation is. If he can pull this off, that is something else. But he goes down though. But Potato goes in for the finisher. 2v3 situation, and Kororo will still wear that eagle. And Potato managed to pick up a P90, but it's a little bit too late. The fireball jutsu will bring him down. And Kororo on a solo mission. Solo pistol mission might not work this time around.
Lovely stuff from the side of BRU. Kororo only get a knock on the Get High, but most of the weapons will go into the next round regardless for Buriram United. Already at the halfway point of this purgatory map. And once more, it's BRU finding very good positions. Right? We said that Falcons wanted to play fast, and we were thinking how BRU is going to stop it. First of all, the DJ Arlock isn't really working out the way that Falcons wanted it to. Not able to extend the fight long enough because most of the shots that came through from BRU results in a knockdown. And second of all, it's just the suppressive fire from Jonah and Get High and makes it incredibly tough for Falcons to just run straight at Buriram United.
It is expected right now, especially with Get High getting used to using Zane, and then that time turner being pulled out. It was Wasana in the perfect timing. But Wasana right now getting a little bit too close and on fire, heading for the airdrop, and Wasana will be pushed out, but doesn't go down that quickly, and Get High will try to protect him. On fire will be taken out with a P90, and Wasana almost losing out on HP, but this is the battle that we are looking for. Limit X7 will be left alone. Get High will need to go for the pickup. Otherwise, it will be a win for Team Falcons.
A huge shot from Limit. Not able to confirm it quick enough. He was too scared for a swing, and now Limit's in the fight. Get High. Wasana at the same time, and that is undoing a triple. Going over to Get High that you just highlighted, getting used to the Zane. Not just that, puts himself in the front line. We look at the KD itself, 5 eliminations apiece for Jonah, Get High, and Moshi. Wasana not needing to do too much this game. He has already done the heavy lifting prior to this against Loss.
First blood.
Exactly. I mean, Wasana doesn't have that much damage with a mini Uzi, but he's still annoying, I would say. If he can get in and out and then just pull out that time turner to save his hide. But again, 4-0. We seldom see this as a scoreline against Team Falcons, but again, it's Buriram United who has been preparing for this moment. They might have gone a longer route, but they know exactly what needs to be done. Limit X7 will be taken down by Wasana with a Max 7, and it is now a 3v4 situation. Fireball Jutsu once again being thrown at all corners of two compounds, and Get High with backstab, and On Fire gets the finisher on Get High.
But sadly for On Fire, BRU sets the building on fire, literally. Just barbecues him. Kororo gets chased down and ran off the game. 5-0 for BRU already. It felt like the grand final just started and BRU are about to close out the first game in a flawless manner.
All right, and this is just something else. Again, we seldom see this. Not quite sure on what Team Falcons is attempting right now, but Buriram United seems a little bit stronger, a little bit faster compared to what we see, how they see them from yesterday up until today. But again, they met up each other. It could have been late. Does Buriram United doesn't have a chance to go in for that marathon, but this time around they're still fresh, they're still warmed up, especially with the battle that they had earlier, and they're putting up so much of a great fight. Awasana looting up the airdrop, getting that M1887 as well as Trogon. Now let's see if he can still use that Trogon going back 1 year when that gun is in meta.
Could be a tough run it back. They need 5 rounds in a row. 5 rounds in a row to tie it up. 6 rounds in a row to win it all. That's going to break BRU. You got to start somewhere. Starts with this 1 round. Max 7 in hand. We see the revolver on Kiroro's side. His trusty little Deagle. Not a revolver. Either way, AWM, limit X7. This is the 1 round so far that they have slowed it down. For BRU, they can play this waiting game forever. The onus is on Falcons to find an opening. The longer this game drags on, the more scared Falcons might feel, because they are the ones on the clock.
See though, if the clock will run down on them. We've seen this before, and the moment that a hint of a rush will be done from either side, that's where retaliation will be happening. And there we have it. That fireball jutsu will trigger it on fire. Stop from getting that shot on, and Potato will be taken down first. Moshi almost. Musana going in and out, but exploding together with on fire was Jonah. Now, Get High, the only one remaining at this point, still with the Zane, is a viable player to go into the battle, and he goes in, steamrolling them. And Kiroro, the only one remaining. AWM against Mag 7, or probably an M1887. Not a good way to go. And there you have it. Buriram United grabs another point, and the first game in this series.
Not even close. Last round's probably the closest, and even that one looked like a wash. Falcons not finding their footing at all this game. BRU shut down every single plan in the playbook of Team Falcons. I'm not really sure if the DJ All-Out is going to ever get picked up in subsequent games. For sure as heck didn't provide the impact that it needed, because the fight never really lasted that long. They needed On Fire to stay with the rest of the team, but most of the time, if that was the case, On Fire gets wiped out alongside them. They need to be a bit more independent overall. So I think we can scrap the DJ All-Out. It's a good experiment for Team Falcons. Time to go back to what they're comfortable with and what they used to take down BRU yesterday.
Well, it's still a long run. We are looking at a best of 5 series, and that DJ Alok might have been, I don't know, just to throw off whatever tactics is being planned. But I do agree with you. Doesn't work that well to the game style of Team Falcons, as well as to counter whatever Buriram United is putting up. So I'm pretty sure they're going in for a different pick, probably comfort pick. Just make sure that they have enough firepower, defense, as well as attack in the active skill department. But in terms of skills, position, and the speed run that is being done by Buriram United, they are still on the roll.
Yeah, there it is. Falcons, BRU. This game 1. If you cover the team tags, I wouldn't have expected it was Falcons against BRU. We are 6-0 on Purgatory, and this is the first time we see Purgatory in the entire tournament. First and last time, and BRU have already dominated Falcons. You chalk it up to maybe Falcons are not used to playing on Purgatory for Clash God as often as BRU, so maybe it's one-sided. But at least for the next map, we are going into familiar territory again. And maybe that's where Falcons will find their footing.
Yeah, let's see though. Let's see. I mean, it's tough to go in and fight that you haven't played like in so many matches that they played in 2 days. But next era, yeah, familiar territory overall is where Limit 7 can rise, especially if they go into Deca Square. But it's a different story with if they are on Grab Labs, especially Museum as well. But as we take a look, it's a 6-0 run. A result that Team Falcons fans are not expecting at this point, but we're still early in the game.
Yeah, not at all. Night is still young. It would be quite unfortunate if we have the grand finals end in a 3-0. That's probably not what we want, obviously. For BRU fans, they would like to have a dominating end to this. It's quite a while since BRU last won anything that is significant. Even though we call this a show match, even though it's just a collaboration with the with Naruto, there's still prize pool at stake. There's still a trophy that is unique in of its own. It's one of a kind. Whoever wins this gets to keep it forever, and no one else would have access to a secondary version. For the entire lifespan of the game, I would like to believe. So BRU still are fighting for some sort of unique achievement.
Yeah, I mean, definitely unique achievement, especially in just put in the faces of everyone that lost against Team Falcons. I would say it's not just against Team Falcons, but even those who lost against Team Falcons but get high. Apart from Moshi being the MVP, but Get High is the guy who made it work with a lot of elimination. That Zane was insane in his hands, and I thought it's already tough when Wasana is using it, but no. I mean, it's just Zane right now who's being a support to the rusher, and the rusher right now can hold the support as well with that time turner, which is Wasana. So
yeah,
let's see if they can keep that sane, because knowing how aggressive, how tough it is to beat in Battlefield, I think Team Falcons are aiming to ban that or take it to their side.
I can agree with that. I think it's due time that they take a chance in banning out the Zane. The extra durability, extra damage to the extra durability that he provides is can be a bit overwhelming. Able to withstand an extra, to kind of withstand in the heat of battle. For even just a fraction of a second could make all the difference, and Get High was a tank in the previous game. There has to be some deep conversations with the Falcons' nest as the coach tries to get them back on track, flip through the pages and figure out how to deal with BRU, because again, game one, you can forget about it. It's time to move on and treat this as a fresh new one.
Yeah, fresh new one. And let's see though how the ban is going. So Cassie will be taken out. Buriram United really wants to reduce the chances of Team Falcons in sustaining themselves in the fight, but that opens up for an Oscar, and Oscar will be banned by Team Falcons. So, well, Ignis is still open. Not quite sure if Buriram United is up to get that, but no, it is Sane who will be grabbing it. And judging from the position, this might be Wasana who's getting it this time around.
So the Ignis does go over to Team Falcons. It is a trade that I think is worthy to take Chrono 2. So Tatsuya now comes back into the conversation. Flu and Santino also there. Coda for BRU also would make a bit of sense, but I feel like they want to limit what limit can play. So taking away the Santino and Clue, yep, just feel like the best course of action right now.
Let's see though, what would be the response? A Coda as well as a Tatsuya may come into play. But no, we don't have an Iris will be brought in for the sniper. There you go. And then probably what pick can be done, can be used at this point? I think for Jonah, Tatsuya. Yeah, I mean, smart move from them. And not quite sure if there will be any switch up in terms of who's going to use this, because I'm expecting Zane. Well, we've seen Zane being grabbed by Get High, but Zane can also be used by Wasana, and every time he uses it, it seems like they are stronger. He doesn't have that rush factor, but he does have that durability, that extra shield point to help him go for the push. But no, Wasana is just going back to his ways as a rusher, and Get High still retains that same Moshi and Santino, Jonah and the Clue. So information gameplay is still on them, making them a little bit more deadlier because of the rush factor. But for Team Falcons, they do have that Ignis to to prevent them from being seen. Corona right now, if it can be used how Wasana did it earlier, then they will be able to stay a little bit longer in the front lines, and then information gameplay from both Coda and Iris at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we are going to Nextera. Last we saw how BRU navigated their series against Lost. It's really about misdirection, right? You did point out how the brilliance between the bait and switch, the smoke and mirrors by using the Santino to get an extra member onto an unknown location. It's something the Falcons struggled with the previous game as well. They started losing track of where BRU members were at. And on Nextera, where there are so many other factors and some of the architecture and the unique properties of certain locations like Deca Square, and misdirection could help BRU to get a leg up over Falcons again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially if the ones taking the lead would be Wasana. So Jonah it's a good spot as well to use him as the ones flanking, in addition to what we've seen earlier, with the help of Moshi's shape splitter on that Santino. But Wasana can also take that rain together with Get High. So instead of just one going for the flank, a distraction of two players going close to their sniper, and then Jonah will still stay behind as a middleman, still giving that support for Moshi. So I think that will be one of the plans of Buriram United right now. For Team Falcons, they can slow it down right now, just to prevent Wasana from going for a good rush.
Yeah. In the previous game, it wasn't Wasana that was stepping up. It was actually everyone else. Get High. They passed the torch of the clutch genes across the team. The Falcons now need to not only figure out who is the one that's literally, on a tear. They also need to shut down the game plan. Start with a 1-for-1 trade. Moshi and Potato both on the ground. Wasana having an exchange. Corolo finds that knock, and that puts Falcons in an advantageous position. The side being pulled out by On Fire as well. Corolo chases down Jonah, gives him a 1-2 punch. This should be Shuriken round for Falcons. And let's Get High once more. Pulls it out of the back. It's him and Corolo. Get High. Lower in terms of health pool. Corolo needs to win this, and by the skin of his teeth, wins it for Falcons.
And it seems like that the Zane didn't work for the final moment for Get High, but it is the shortcut round, and we know that it doesn't make that much of a difference. They can still pick up any Deagle and a mini Uzi because it costs the same, and as you can see on the cash that they have from above, it doesn't dent that much, but as you can see, because of the additional, it would still be viable that Team Falcons can put in so much of damage because they have helmets as well as armor together with the weapons that they grab for this round.
Already puts himself in a good position. If he finds a peak, he gets a sharp headshot that could easily turn this round in their favor. Moshi's entry points can get guarded. Cororo now sees Moshi. Might have caught a glimpse of Get High too. Flaming Rush out On Fire with the dome, protects himself, and now Wasana caught in a rush point. Cororo springs into the action. Takes him out. Fire though, does get dicked by Moshi from behind. Moshi left unguarded. And I thought Cororo relayed that information. Now that Santino is going to make things a bit more complicated. Moshi relocates instantly. Falcons have lost track of the sniper of BRU. Get High in the 1v1, takes down Limit. Things starting to go south for Falcons. Potato needs to hit his shots with Moshi from behind. Another bait and switch. And Falcons collapsing.
Double kill.
And Moshi using that Santino to perfection. Just reposition and making sure that he is providing so much backup for his teammates. Has given him a 3 elimination already. 3 on those KDs already. And this is a replay of what happened. Get High is a distraction and Moshi jumps in. Potato goes down and then quick reposition coming from Moshi and ending it just like that. I mean, pistol rounds, could have been taken by Kororo, but the rest of the team of Team Falcons is not putting up so much of a fight. But it's a good thing, though, that they put up a point in their scoreboard already. But how can they work on this time around? Kororo can go for backstab against Wasana, but Wasana managed to protect himself and get high with a slice and dice using that sight.
Say part of mixed direction coming in from BRU, and before we can even finish our sentence, it seems like BRU has already made their point pretty clear. Leaving limit
First
alone 5
blood.
HP. Game, this round pretty much done and dusted. BRU takes the lead back very, very convincingly. Now that economy starts to build up for BRU as they keep all of their guns, I believe. Versus Falcons.
Yeah.
And start from scratch again.
Well, let's see though. But they do have some economy probably losing out on armors as well as some utilities. But hopefully they can slow the pace down because so much more because of the how quick it is on how Buriram is taking the rush. That's what's throwing off Team Falcon's position. They have a prime position in terms of split, in terms of position, in terms of how the sniper is set up, and the bait and switch can be pulled in by Team Falcons as well. But Buriram United seems like their tactics, their movement is a little bit stronger. So Fireball Jutsu to clear out one of the glue wall, but Potato has managed to cross over already. Liminix 7 taking an eye on one side as Potato on the higher ground. So prime position, airdrop even secured, and the question is how will they respond? From the looks of how Buriram United is waiting, they will be waiting for the blue to close in, and then that's when they make that move.
Oh yeah. BRU will slow the game down like they did. I mean, contrary to the previous map, the impact not as significant. So we're not at the match point status yet. Get High makes his first move. It's the Ignis Wall. Surely they'll try Get High. That's half his health bar gone. The Santino decoy gets sent out too. Can they distract Falcons enough? Moshi will join Get High. Wasana, the third one to make the move. The glue wall is being laid down very generously, just so that BRU gets to stay passionate. Moshi again relocates. Kororo does think Get High, but Wasana is in prime position to pick him back up, so not much is lost. In fact, he drops Fireball right in front of the blue wall to Team Falcons, and Wasana springs into action. On Fire would do exactly the same. They trade 1-for-1 so far. On Fire and Moshi both become victims, but as Jonah comes alive, Potato also gets taken down. The glue wall gets
First
put
blood.
up, and Moshi stands back up to get High back into action, and BRU stifles the assault.
Yeah, full man squad still for Buriram United as Kororo Limit tries to pull away. The distance though can give an opening for Moshi to take those shots, but a shift of the circle is throwing off their tactics, and there goes Limit going down. Now Kororo will be left, but once he peaks, he might be taken down with a BSK from Wasana. Get High will try to put in so much of pressure onto the other side as well, but Moshi would say goodbye. Now it's only a few seconds remaining, no opening for Wasana to rush in, but no, he still managed to cross over. 2 rushes in, and another point being grabbed by the Brew Blood team Buriram United.
Starting to ramp up too. That move from Falcons, I can understand the rationale behind Falcons taking that fight, and they almost made it work. If not for BRU again winning crucial gunfights with the tiniest of difference in margins. That has been the big difference maker on this map, where BRU by a hair's breadth wins out crucial trades, health bar differences. The most minuscule of numbers now matter a lot more than they usually do. I think this wall thrown out again. Glass panel reveals where BRU are at. Fireball Jutsu to force them out. Get High response with his own on Fire. Take matters into his own hand, and this time with the M1887 takes down Wasana to give him a good start. But Get High with a sight in his hand takes down Fire, slices Potato as Limit takes out Jonah, but the damage has been done by BRU, and Get High is the one that takes initiative again.
Yeah, Get High is a game changer once again, and there goes the finishing move, the finisher from Buriram United Esports. And Get High, I think with the Zane plus the Scythe makes him a little bit more deadlier despite of Wasana going down. So not quite sure what can can still be done by Team Falcons at this point. It seems like every move they make, they're always being put on a checkmate. So there's not so much of leeway being given for Team Falcons.
Very unfortunate predicament again for Team Falcons. Once more, by the slightest of margins, they make the best possible chess move in their position, but it feels like you're up against Stockfish all the time. In this case, it's BRU. That their AI prediction mindset. Somehow Moshi catches Potato with his back turn. This round is already off to a horrible start, and it now has ended for sure. Unless Falcons come up with a miracle, but so far we haven't seen that from Karoro or Limit.
Yeah, Kuroro is a miracle maker from the previous match when they played, but Limit right now can go in for finisher, but it is Kuroro who lands that hit. He needs to be picked up, though, but Limit doesn't want to go in the open.
Double
Jonah
kill.
has been spotted because of the blue
Double
wall.
kill.
Now M590 in hand. Jonah brings it to match point.
It's pretty fair to say that BRU have snapped Falcons in half. This is surely one way to break a team. Oh my goodness. And it's the same story. The Falcons have no idea where Moshi is. This Santino needs to leave BRU. They're doing too
That's
much
one
work
thing,
with it.
Double kill.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of snipers has been using Santino, but not in this manner as Moshi is using it. How fast is this? He is in triggering that reposition. Probably because he's just doing so. The rest of the team's doing so much more as well that we are having some time to focus on Moshi's position. But Get High will be taken down. Wasana brings down On Fire for a
First
trade,
blood.
but we still have no signs of Moshi. Finally, we will see Moshi right now. And there goes the Shape Splitter once again being let go. On Fire, a few seconds remaining. Potato could have go in for a pickup. Was Wasana is a little bit busy, and Karoro will be taken down.
This is it's very fair to say that BRU are going to be up 2-0 in this grand finals at this point. Potato on the rescue mission. Wasana barely catches it, and Moshi snipes him out of the air.
Double kill.
No chance of
Double
recovery at all.
kill.
BRU up 2-0 now. This grand finals is going down a trajectory of the boys in blue.
Definitely, I mean, it looks like it. Green is slowly fading away. And Buriram United right now looks like they are a lot stronger. And this is what we're asking for Buriram United. I mean, like, doesn't have to be starting strong in any tournament as long as they could finish it in this manner. But yeah, I mean, we still have some questions on what else Team Falcons can bring into the mix to go against Buriram United, because Get High on that Zane. Santino gameplay coming from Moshi is already putting in some records.
I feel like they need to pick the poison, right? It's not like Falcons didn't get the picks that they want. I'm pretty sure Falcons also got the optimal picks, but
Yeah.
I think it's time to initiate a trade. Right? You can't let BRU have Santino and Zane and Clue in the same lineup. Something has to be changed.
Alright.
Ban the Zane. I go back to what you were proposing earlier on, right? I think the Zane might have to go. It's either that, or if they're on first pick, they take the Zane for themselves. Because for 2 games in a row, Zane and Santino has been a nightmare for Falcons to handle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if On Fire can use that Zane, it's more favorable compared to Chrono. So I don't think Karoro will be letting go of Dakota. They've grown to confident confident and stable with that. They don't have that from the previous round, from the first match, because Jonah managed to grab it. So they want to keep them from themselves. They want to get information. But Iris, Limit X7, if he can use Santino at this point, just steal all those picks from Buriram United, and I think they have a better chance in fighting back.
Absolutely. But so far, it seems like there hasn't been any fight yet found in Falcons. Limit 0-6. The only one that really sort of stepped up and showed some fight within him, showed the dog within him, is Karoro, right? 6 eliminations and 6 deaths. But in the grand scheme of things, it pales in comparison and what the damage that BRU has dealt. Moshi 9 and 2, Get High and Jonah 6 piece each. Wasana once more not needing to do too much because the rest of his team are on form.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he just serves as a distraction just to make sure there's an opening for Moshi to put in all those damage as well as elimination. But at this point, it would be Moshi that is our MVP. It's not just the gameplay that is, it's not just the firepower that Moshi is displaying. How well he can use that Santino, even better than, I would say, Rasia. Because Rasia, there's still some questionable usage of Santino, but Moshi right now, specifically, even if there's a mistake on pulling it out, he quickly uses that and wait for it to refresh. And that is why the strength of Get High is crucial, because it gives them that opportunity to slow things down for the cooldown to happen in Moshi's side.
Match MVP, Moshi, 9 eliminations, 3.4k total damage. One of the OG snipers of the era, and still delivers when they need it the most. I mean, yesterday, Moshi has had some great performances, but we also seen him getting shut down. Today, he is the only one that dictates who gets shut down.
Yeah, I mean, I know Limit X7 is stressed at this point because they couldn't find where Moshi is. But if you look at some of the snipers from, especially from Brazil, like Nando 9, there's a huge fight that he can bring in against Moshi. That's what he needs to study. How can they give an opening to Limit X7 just to make sure that he can deal with Moshi first and then work with the rest of the team, isolating them in one corner while they push for Moshi. That's one of the plan that Team Falcons needs to do.
Yeah. Again, Team Falcons need to really start digging deep, right? They tried to rally and gain number 2. That did not work at all. We did see glimpses of better attempts, of closer results, but in the competition, the only thing that matters is the end result. And the end result is BRU wiping the floor with them 6-1 on Nextera. We are still going to go back into familiar territory for game number 3, but time is definitely running short for Team Falcons. They need to somehow figure out the draft, because that has been the bane of their grand finals run so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they want to put this in a best of 5 or catch up to what Buriram United has to do, something really needs to change. But I don't think Buriram United will let it go that easily unless some of those parts would work against some of those parts that we mentioned would work against Buriram United. But you know how it is. This is the draft itself is more of chess moves after chess moves. If you can make that move to counter any of the pick that probably potentially takes away your strength, then just find something that they can counter. It might not be that unorthodox though, but we might be seeing a few more of the active skill usage that will pop off in these games.
Well, discussions needs to be the discussions underway. Steve Long now trying to get his team across the finishing line. This is last stretch for BRU. The Team Falcons still stuck at the starting line. Umpai has fired a shot long ago, but Team Falcons have not been able to get their feet off the ground. At least not able to hit the ground running, whereas BRU are already in the final leg of the race. So it's a chrono of all things for Falcons.
Let's see though. So Chrono being taken away from Wasana, and it would be left to Wasana to switch it up. Team Falcons still that sane. So they're not giving anything. This is what we're asking for. Don't give anything to Buriram United to toughen them up.
Yeah.
But they do have that Tatsuya still available, so that they can use it to their favor. And there you go. Wasana will be using that Tatsuya Santino, I'm pretty sure. But no, Kazi for Get High. So Santino is open. Hopefully Team Falcons make that pick.
I mean, you have to take Santino now. You'll be actively throwing the game if you don't take Santino now. I mean, they did take the Ignis, That I can agree with. But Santino, yeah, you have to
There
take
you
it.
go.
Finally. So they still make a trade. Like, it's not to say that Buriram suddenly are not getting good picks. They still are, but they're not getting all the good picks. Be forced to the Coda. I mean, there's still the clue available if Buriram wish
Iris.
to go for it. You go for the clue instead. So this last pick, what else could it be? It could go for Homer? I feel like I'm missing
Homer
something.
or A124.
The A124, yes. That too.
A124 would be the most perfect, but I'm not quite sure if Team Falcons want to pull that card yet, because I'm pretty sure they will reserve that later on if this works. But I don't know. They can use it right now just to make sure they're still into the fight, and then figure out another way to counter Buriram United. So I'm looking at A124. And there you have it. We got it right. I love this. We're getting into the minds of the Titans themselves.
And the A124 makes a lot of sense too. Want to stop any diversion plays? If Wasana is looking for any sort of a reset with the Rebel Rush, the A124 is going to put a stop to that in an instant. Just give Falcons a lot more breathing room, right? You can man up against BRU a lot more, but at the same time, you give yourself tools to not play into BRU shenanigans like this Ignis, Flame Mirage, this Santino decoy. It's fair to say that Moshi Santino has been the best so far, but let's see if Limit can push it beyond what we've already seen from him.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, if he can use the Santino, this would be a trump card that they can always use, not only against Buriram United, but against other teams as well. And we're not seeing any Iris, so I think that is a risk that they're willing to take, especially if it makes Buriram United a little bit fairer to deal with, a little bit less stronger to deal with. But we'll have to see. That Tatsuya and Cassie combination can still be a threat, but they do have on fire that they can go like toe-to-toe with it, plus Kiroro on that A124. So like Get High and Wasana already has a counter right there.
Oh yes. So this could be one again. Final lap for BRU and for Team Falcons. The race basically has just begun long ago, but for them, they have 3 games that need to run it back to back to back. So we put the mental fortitude to test. We said that if they steamroll WAG, they get to conserve all of that energy coming into the grand finals, and it seems like BRU has laid waste to that plan. But still, BRU not letting the guard down. One last high five. Actually, one last high five. Push D-Long, making sure that the boys are ready to end it on a high note. No mercy to be shown, even to the toughest of rivals.
Yeah, let's see though. Let's see if this is the time for Team Falcons to bring 1 point to their board and make their dreams still alive to grab that championship trophy as well as a prize pool. But if not, this is the final battle, and I don't think Team Falcons wants that to happen. They are on home soil. A lot of fans are still cheering them on despite of how late it is right now. But again, they are still alive and kicking compared to how they played yesterday. They have more chances really to bring the game to their favor right now.
And it's all about just waiting to hit into map number 3. BRU looking locked in as ever. In fact, very relaxed. You know, they're definitely taking steps to treat this, one round at a time. Whereas for Team Falcons, good to see that the spirit hasn't died out just yet. They're still in high spirits. The morale not really dampened despite 2 consecutive beatdowns by BRU.
Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons might not be that team that will be affected compared to how we describe Vietnamese team, because like even in so many instances, I think you pointed out as well that even if they get a loss, they're still not fixed. Smiles on them. They know that they can fight back. and there are still a lot of battles that can be won after this. So, well, no pressure for them. And speaking of pressure, we're going to see that as well later on the heartbeat monitor. Well, for those of you who's watching and seeing those hearts and numbers as well, those are they are monitoring the heart rate of the players. And one player that is really calm and collected is not only Kiroro but also Limit 7.
Kalahari is going to be the map. Once more, Falcons need to look for a strong start, and whoa, Limit pretty sharp on those shurikens. Jonah wants back up, double in as well, coming right through. Jonah somehow gets down to the bottom. And Falcons off to a great start, but BRU quickly equalizes the state of the game and takes over in terms of numbers, and Limit just arrived to the scene. Takes out Moji,
Triple
but
kill.
unfortunately forgot that Wasana is still around. A 3-piece for this young gun. And right off the bat, BRU wins the first round again.
Yeah, that could have been taken differently, but that is a risk though. If your sniper who doesn't even have a sniper takes that distance, and he will be late in the party. If he could have been there with the group, he could have finished off those knockdowns and probably change the result of that game number 1. But it's just game number 1 though. On a shuriken round, and Limit 7 will need. Oh, it's Pina who will be part of the mix right now. So, yep, let's see if this is a game changer for them. 3 against 2 on the second floor.
Oh yeah. See, this is maybe a necessary swap. Pina doesn't end up going down. Either way, already an opening one for the side of BRU. Jonah with the pop onto Limit.
First blood.
And this round has already spiraled out of control.
Definitely, it is spiraling out of control right now. Even Kiroro factor will not be a factor anymore, especially if they don't land those shots. And what he needs to do is keep that distance. But unfortunately, On Fire couldn't regroup with him because of what Wasana is doing, connected to get high. But there you have it. Buriram United, Jonah and Moshi has been knocked down. Kiroro will need to be picked up, and On Fire tries to run away, but it doesn't work against the duo of the frontliners in Buriram United.
Good attempt from Falcons again for Pina having to sit in such an important game. Over Potato, who has been playing the entire tournament up till the previous game. Pressure is on him, but maybe Pina is also, you can look at it from another perspective where he is the fresh mind, not under the pressure that Potato is already under. Maybe that's the reset that Falcons are hoping to get out of him. He's the one that could rally the rest of Team Falcons. You got to start by winning 1 round first, and BRU have been solid so far on Kalahari and throughout the finals.
Let's see though if they will be able to take one down. On the Fire has been taken down. Limit 7 responded to get high, but the pickup though is still viable for Buriram United side, and Bina will be taken down. That was speed run at this point in Council Hall, and it again we're back to the question: is anything else? Is there anything else that of Team Falcons do against Buriram United, because they've already taken out their best pick in terms of active skill? It's just more of a positioning, and there was a chance that Jonah could have been taken out early, but none of Team Falcons managed to turn that corner and go against him on that 1v2, so it could have ended differently from that point.
I don't know what they could have done differently. They definitely adjusted the draft, right? We both liked what they brought to this. And then when we look beyond the draft, it really comes down to the macro and the micros. So far, BRU have been winning on the gunfight. Like, again, On Fire. Back turn. Not able to keep track of where BRU are. And a lot of times when they are on the reactive side, that's where things start to fall apart. But thankfully, Kiroro got his comrades covered this time. Limit getting taken down by Moshi from afar does ease the burden on BRU a little bit. Jonah behind the firewall. Pina trying to split for him, but Moshi fouled out by Kiroro, and at least for Falcons, they get 1 round done right.
All right, so that is Pina just going going berserk and going back and forth using that Ignis. But I guess it's a good play as well. You want to bait your opponent to be burnt by that flame mirage and then have a give time for Kuroro to focus on his aim, and that worked. That brought them 1 point. And as you can see as well, in terms of weaponry, we're seeing a Groza, we're seeing AC-80, AWM for Limit X7 rather, and that is a good response to Moshi right now. And Moshi will be taking this peak this second floor, and the rest of the teams might not see him in that position.
Eliminating Jonah is already bringing start for Falcons. Take out the hit commander. Wasana now gets cornered. He's on fire. But the support would take him down. Moshi just flip limit off screen though. The Raphael bleed out effect is gonna nail Moshi with that elimination, and he's the last man alive. Kuroro needs to be rescued. Unfortunately, ends up bleeding out. It's Moshi 1 against 2. Wasana waiting to be rescued, but Moshi doesn't have time to do so. A double up from Falcons ensures that this round doesn't slip out of control. They are slowly but surely crawling back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, crawling back, and it's on fire on that M590 run. I know the reload speed has been reduced at this point, but it's still viable if you can land those hits. It might not be a headshot. It's not about to be an instant knockdown, but if you land those shots, reduce the HP, put chip damage against the enemies, it will force them to hide out in one corner, and that's what prompted them to go for a double hit with Pina.
And the last time we saw this not long ago, the BRU and lost. Jonah has pretty good ideas on reading where the enemy sniper is going to go. And this time the approach is slightly different. Jonah with the Deagle on the low ground, relying on Get High and Moshi to play long range, and that opens up space for Limit to sneak onto the high ground. This different approach could be in favor of Falcons. As Wasana is forced to relocate already, but he can't move too far away. That glue wall actually goes down, so ends up causing that the utility from BRU to miss.
Now let's see though if those misses can be taken down as an advantage by Team Falcons. Jonah right now in a battle on a 1v1 on the M590. Moshi will try to help out. Limit almost being taken down. And there goes Glue Wall being taken out, followed up with a shot using that AWM, but Pina will try to follow through, but Moshi is just a little bit too quick. On fire, the only one remaining, and there's not so much that he can do, especially on the other side. Moshi now will try to take shots, and there you go, the hit onto Moshi.
Double
A
kill.
little bit of chip damage being received by On Fire, but position-wise, he managed to relocate that quickly. And pickup has been done, bringing it to a 2v2. Wasana, though, has a clear view as to where they're coming from.
And yes, the Rebel Rush and the support of the Electrotherapy coming back up a little bit. Kuroro pops in. That is the opening for Team Falcons to take advantage of. Get High. That's the position to try and clutch this out. 1v2, not
kill.
possible. A 3-round back-to-back for Team Falcons. This round could have gone insanely poorly when Moshi got that knocked and walked away thanks to the Electrotherapy, but thankfully Falcons were able to hold the fort long enough to bring it to a 2v2.
Again, putting pressure on Moshi changed the pace of the game, and despite of 2 knockdowns already, because Moshi is still preoccupied and healing up, there's not so much of info being relayed, so they can recover that quickly. And I would say that counts as a clutch right there from the scene, despite of a 2v1 situation. Now, as we go in onto this fight, Moshi right now is just waiting for Kuroro. Flame Mirage was late, but I guess it does its job. Wasana right now will try to go in for a rush against On Fire, but Wasana is the one who's going down for the M87 of Pina.
First
To the start of the
blood.
recovery, we needed a fresh set of eyes on the side of Falcons, and Pina is bringing that impact, allowing On Fire and Kuroro to play a bit more freely for sure. Jonah and Moshi now left on the rope. Moshi desperately trying to find a couple of avenues, but On Fire has already spotted him, and Limit will relay convert that into the 4th round for Falcons. Now they are in control.
Yeah, this time around, Team Falcons is going for a speed run. They're getting in the rhythm of how to deny Buriram United of any points. Now, we are going into where Buriram United can take advantage of the position of Limit X7, especially if he gets into one of the platforms right there. But you know how it is. Some barricades can stop you from being from getting shot. So we'll have to find out which side they will be heading. Limit will be going into the left-hand side together with Pina and On Fire in the front line. And, well, a trio from Buriram United will be focusing in on isolating Kiroro. But I don't think Kiroro will fall for that trap. They still have a Limit in there, an overside, but doesn't have an angle to take. So Wasana, surprisingly, pulls away from that engagement, leaving Kiroro play with Get High.
Get High gladly holds his ground. Now Wasana gets back, takes down the blue wall with the, I think the stolen Valiant dash. It's a utility being committed, but either way, Kiroro going down. Pina now called to rescue his teammate.
First blood.
But Moshi bleeds out On Fire from afar. Kiroro does get retrieved. The BRU have done substantial damage. Pina now has to somehow kill his teammates out of this, but it's not possible. Get High and Moshi both delivers on their front Limit with a shot onto Wasana, but it's still a 1v3.
Double
And
kill.
Limit probably stands no chance in this situation. BRU needed to put a bandage over the wound, and they've done more than just that to cauterize it and equalize the score. It's 4-4.
Yeah, I mean, because of the numbers, that trick didn't work. But if it was a 1v2, he could easily go for a headshot and then just reposition with that shape splitter and then fire on the other guy. But they just have both side cover. The one that where he's coming from as where the decoy will be going, and there's still no chance of surviving that. Now let's see though. Team Falcons would need to go in a little bit stronger this time, but On Fire taking the lead together with Pina and Flame Mirage right now can block the visibility for Wasana, and this guy is the first thing. This player, this Wasana, should be the first guy that you take down. Just disrupt their movement, but no, Moshi says otherwise. On Fire brings him down, and it's now a 2v3.
That is just unlucky. Or maybe it's just smart positioning for Moshi again, trying to catch the intervention. It was zooming from behind, and Moshi pushed that to a stop, and that completely destroys the plans of Team Falcons. Limit once more left to his own devices. Might get a lucky shot onto Moshi, but still the rest of BRU are on his tail. And match point, championship point in sight for BRU, and Limit is going to be left to steal in this moment as they have to start planning for what to do in round number 10.
Let's see. There's not so much that he can do right now. Rose in hand, damage being dealt with, and they're just playing around with their food. And finally, a finisher from Buriram United to bring themselves to match point. Only one remains. One game to win. And this will end the run for Team Falcons. And Buriram United, it seems like, despite of how much effort they put in to deny them of their comfort pick or their best pick in the active skill, the gameplay and strategy, they have a backup plan for that.
Oh yeah. We saw how fast BRU adapt to it, right? It took them 4 rounds, but once they adapt to it, they were able to shut down Falcons' ideas immediately. One person that you can rely on this time on Falcons is probably Pina. That's your best bet. Firewall Flame Mirage passes through. Wasana will be forced back, but just a lucky supply crate right in front of him, so he gets to be ready. The clay bomb being sent out too On Fire is going to be the recipient of that. Barely just missing the mark. Get High and Jonah still goes in for the rush, and On Fire needs to back up right now. He cannot go down.
Yeah, not so much a backup can be done. There's no angle to take, but he did get away. Get High now. M1887 in hand, pulls away, still connected though. to the other side and get high. It's not going down that easily in spite of the shots from M590, and they're having a respawn from Jonah. And that's one man down already. Wasana a little bit too deep against Limit, but it quickly repositions to join Kiroro. And Pina can be the gatekeeper against Wasana, but Wasana's already recovering, especially as he looted up that airdrop.
Yeah, that airdrop actually being the lifesaver of Wasana. In a normal situation, when if that airdrop is absent, it could have been an easy trade for Falcons. But that's the situation they had to work with. We said that On Fire should not go down. And BRU, they put the pressure, they doubled up on him and finally forced him out into the open before taking him down. Corolo now forced to make a desperate move alongside the rest of Falcons. Moshi again, find the timing. Coup de grace, delivered, signed, and sealed all by BRU. And they are the Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Champions, 3-0 in the Grand Finals. They've earned the right to hoist the scroll and the trophy, $40,000 richer.
Finally, after so many runs against teams from Southeast Asia and even teams from Latin America and Brazil, they have found the light. This is a good motivation for Buriram United as well to carry this over. Not just in show matches just like this, not just in Clash Squad just like this, but also in Battle Royale. But they are the ones who took down the kings of Clash Squad. This time, a new king emerged. It is Buriram United Esports.
This king never left. He just returned to the kingdom to reclaim the throne and rebuild it brick by brick in their own volition. A trophy has eluded them for so long. You include Spring, Fall, EWC, and Global Finals. It has been so long since any of them has lifted a trophy. The last one probably a year ago or slightly longer than that. But for BRU, regardless, this is a moment of celebration and it belongs to them. Smiles all across, the blood, sweat, and tears finally pay off in Clash Squad. So ladies and gentlemen, survivors of all ages, the champions of the
This is long time running, long time in the making. Buriram United Esports grabbing a champion, and I know this is not a major tournament that they are aiming for, but this is one step closer to that dream, one step closer to motivate them to do even more, to counter against every team who face against them. And this is just the beginning for Buriram United Esports. Again, Buriram United Esports, the champion of the Free Fire All-Stars Ninja Clash 2025 Clash Squad Tournament.
A lot of doubts have been dispelled after that trophy lift. There are still questions that will be asked and questions that they have to continue answering as we move into the fall season, the beginning of next week and beyond. They now aim to not only try and secure the trophy for the regular leagues in the fall season in the second half of the year, but also to qualify for the Global Championship. Maybe that is going to restore some faith onto BRU to be the boys that bring that trophy back to Southeast Asia after 3 long years. But this is the match summary of the Grand Finals, where they steamroll over Team Falcons, 6-0 on Purgatory, 6-1 on Stera, and they stop a possible comeback from Falcons on Kalahari with a 6-4 scoreline.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not even getting back to Bermuda. They're just paying it back. They're just paying Team Falcons back to what happened and making them take the long route. But I guess that's how it is. If you take the longer route, the harder route, you become more stronger. And that's what we've seen from Buriram United. After a 2-1 loss, they respond to a 3-0. And Buriram United really proves that they are stronger this time around in Clash Squad. And it really excites us to see that story unfold. It might just be Clash Squad, but in the Southeast Asian region, especially in FFWS, that is being that is already being shown that a game changer and also adds up to what you can earn in an FFWS series.
Yeah, and this is definitely incentive for them to go for more. The Team Falcons, they had a good run, right? They still walk away with 20 grand. But for BRU, this is, I'd say, a big morale boost. Our fall season starts in literally 3 days. Because that's where Clash, 3 days, yeah, that's where Clash Squad begins. So it's not far away until we see these teams back on the battlefield again, even stronger and more prepared. For BRU, it's a minor cause for celebration before they get ready for the big boy league again. We're gonna talk to Buriram United Esports about that win. Of course, our lovely hosts are waiting on stage to deliver the winner's interview. Yunsu, Yuki, take it away.
Congratulations to Buriram United Esports for becoming the champion of our Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Tournament.
แล้วก็ขอเสียงตบมืออีกครั้งหนึงให้กับทีม Falcons ได้ไหมคะ
And of course, our second place will belong to Team Falcons.
แล้วตอนนี้ค่ะเราจะมาอินเทอร์วิวพวกเขากันหน่อยดีกว่า เดี๋ยวมาพูดคุยกันหน่อยว่า ความรู้สึกในตอนนี้รู้สึกยังไงบ้างที่มาเป็นแชมป์ของรายการนี้ค่ะ
Well, we will start with our interview with very basic questions. How do you feel right now when you become the champion of Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Tournament this time?
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับ ขอบคุณทุกคนที่มาเชียร์ครับ ก็ราชาคนใหม่กำเนิดขึ้นแล้วครับ
He feels so happy. Thank you for everyone who cheer us for all the time. And the new king is already begin.
Well, he's right. He's right. Okay,
The king
so
is born right here on the stage right now.
I agree because like, this is the tournament like for everyone, right? Not only just C region, but it is also like for the world tournament. So I really agree what they said.
พวกคุณอาจจะเคยได้ยินว่าตอนที่พวกคุณกำลังแข่งอยู่เนี่ยเสียงกรี๊ดเสียงเชียร์เนี่ยคือเรียกได้ว่าตบมือกันสนั่นแล้วตั้งแต่ตอนที่ทั้งเราล้มแล้วเราลุกขึ้นน่ะพวกเขาอยู่ข้างๆกับพวกคุณโดยตลอดเลยอยากให้ฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆหน่อยดีกว่าอยู่กันมาจนถึงตอนนี้ขอแบบซึ้งๆเลยค่ะ
Alright, so for all of you, does anyone want to say anything to your fans, to your beloved family, or your friends, or whoever supported you guys until now?
ก็ขอบคุณครับที่มาเชียร์ คุณอยู่ข้างผม ผมก็อยู่ข้างพวกคุณเสมอครับ
Oh, thank you for cheering us for the all time. You got our back, ours got your back. We got our back.
Oh, so cute. Okay, so I want to hear some other as well. Maybe Wasana.
ก็ขอบคุณทุกคนมากครับที่มาเชียร์ในวันนี้ก็ถ้าไม่มีกำลังใจของทุกคนทุกคนก็แบบไม่มีพวกผมในวันนี้เหมือนกันครับก็ขอบคุณมากจริงๆครับก็พวกผมก็ซ้อมมาหนักมากครับ
Thank you, everyone. If they don't have everyone don't have our fan, we cannot came here this time, and we try so hard to be here. We practice more and more harder and harder to be here. They deserve it.
They really deserve it. I hope to see a new image of Buriram United Esports in our next season as well.
เขาบอกว่าในครั้งหน้าเนี่ยก็จะได้เจอพวกคุณนะคะในสเตจเขาเรียกได้ว่าลีกถัดไปได้เจอแน่นอนนะคะและในตอนนี้นะคะสัมภาษณ์กันไปพอเหมาะพอควรแล้วเดี๋ยวเราจะมาถึงไพรส์เซเลโมนีกันแล้วงั้นเดี๋ยวเราขยับมาทางขวาหน่อยดีไหมคะนี่
Alright, now we're going to start with our ceremony with the team.
And และในตอนนี้ค่ะได้เวลาของการมอบรางวัลนะคะตอบแทนความมุ่งมั่นของน้องๆและความพยายามของทุกทีมกันแล้วค่ะในโอกาสนี้นะคะขออนุญาตเรียนเชิญมิสเตอร์เฮโรเทียลนะคะ Free Fire Global Producer ให้เกียรติขึ้นมอบรางวัลบนเวทีค่ะ
It's time for the award ceremony. Please welcome our guest of honor who will present the awards to our team, Mr. Harold Thiel, Free Fire Global Producer, to the stage, please.
นี่คือแชมป์ของพวกคุณค่ะกับ Ninja Clash Free Fire All Star ทีม Buriram United Esports
And the champion of Ninja Clash Free Fire All Star Tournament, please, is Buriram United Esports.
แชมเปี้ยนของพวกเราค่ะได้รับเงินรางวัลนะคะมูลค่า $40,000 สหรัฐโอ้โห
And the prize pool for our champion today is gonna be like 40,000 USD.
พวกเขาลำบากกันมามากนะคะ ฝึกกันมาหนักมากๆ แถมยังได้รับกำลังแรงแล้วก็กำลังใจที่ดีจากแฟนๆ จนมาถึงวันนี้ได้นะคะ พวกเขาสมควรแล้วจริงๆ สมมงแบบสุดๆ ค่ะ
A very big prize pool for our Clash Squad tournament this time, 40,000 USD. Another budget into Buriram United Esports collection this time.
และตอนนี้นะคะก็เป็นเวลาทางเซเลโมนีที่เราจะมาเซเลบรตให้กับแชมเปี้ยนของเราแล้วนะ วันนี้ก็ถ้าเกิดใครอยากถ่ายรูปนะสามารถลุกขึ้นมาด้านหน้าแล้วก็มาถ่ายรูปได้เลย และนี่คือแชมป์ของเรา Ninja Clash Free Fire All Star นั่นเองค่ะ เอานี่
What a way of
คุณ
celebration.
โจนี่ Legend guys และนอกจากรางวัลนะคะแชมเปี้ยนของเราแล้วแน่นอนว่าขาดไปไม่ได้เลยอีกหนึ่งผู้เล่นคนสำคัญกับรางวัล FMVP ได้แก่
And besides that, we also gonna have the FMVP promotion.
ได้รับเงินรางวัลมูลค่า 3,000 เหรียญค่ะ
And the prize pool for Mochi this time for FMVP of the tournament will be 3,000 USD.
และนี่คือแชมเปี้ยนของเรานะคะรวมไปถึง FMVP ด้วย เรียกได้ว่าเสียงเป็นเอกฉันท์กันเลยทีเดียวไม่ใช่แค่พวกเรานะคะที่รู้สึกว่าพวกเขาทำผลงานได้ดีมากนะคนในทีมก็รู้สึกว่าโมชินี่สมควรที่จะได้รับรางวัลนี้จริง Final MVP ซึ้งใจแบบสุดๆหน้าตานี่คือน้ำตารื้นขึ้นมาแล้วทีเดียวจะร้องไห้หรือเปล่านะจะร้องไห้หรือเปล่านะขอสักหยดไหม สำหรับการแข่งขันและกิจกรรมของ Ninja Clash Free Fire All Star ก็ได้จบลงไปแล้วนะคะ ขอแสดงความยินดีกับแชมเปี้ยนของเราด้วย แล้วก็ขอขอบคุณนะคะทุกท่านแล้วก็ทุกทีมเลยที่ร่วมเข้าแข่งขัน แล้วก็ชิงความเป็นสุดยอดแห่งเจ้าแห่งนินจาในครั้งนี้ ทุกคนสามารถติดตามความร่วมมือแล้วก็สุดพิเศษแบบนี้แล้วก็คอร์รัปสุดพิเศษได้ของ Free Fire แล้วก็ Naruto Shippuden ได้ในเกมแล้ววันนี้ค่ะ
And with that, the Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star Tournament and its activities have officially ended here. A huge congratulations to our champions, Buriram United Esports. We also want to extend our sincere thanks to all the teams who competed for the title of the Ultimate Ninja Master in this event. You can now experience the special collaboration between Free Fire and Naruto Shippuden in-game for today. And of course, for now, we have to say goodbye. But at least, cheer for our champions today, everyone! Buriram United Esports!
เย้แล้ววันนี้พวกเราทุกคนต้องขอตัวลาไปก่อนจนกว่าจะเจอกันใหม่ในครั้งหน้าสำหรับวันนี้ สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you so much, and we would love to see you guys in another time. Thank you!
แชมเปี้ยนบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดอีสปอร์ตโอ้
There you have it once again, Buriram United Esports, the champion of Ninja Clash Free Fire All-Star 2025, as well as a Moshi or MVP. Additional 43,000 in the bank for Buriram United. But it's not over for Free Fire. This is just a preview of what's going to happen because there's a lot more that will be happening on this weekend, Husky.
Yeah, I've said this before and I'll say it as much as it needs to be said. Free Fire, we get show match, there's still prize pool. Preseason, we get prize pool. We make sure that every single effort is rewarded. And yeah, like you said, in 72 hours, we are going to kickstart the fall season. We got Clash Squad, we got Battle Royale lined up. The old kings are back, or get high say, the new kings are back in town. But I digress. I think the old kings are back to reclaim the kingdom and rebuild it again because it's been quite a while since BRU was recognized as the rulers of Southeast Asia. This could be the prelude to that. This could be a foreshadowing of what BRU is about to bring to through the fall season and the rest of 2025.
And definitely, for those of you who have joined us up until this moment, thank you very much for your patience as well as your support. Make sure that you follow all the channels that wherever you're watching it, especially the official channels. And also, if you are just new to this broadcast and is not aware of what Free Fire is, go check out your all stores in your mobile phone. There's a lot more that you can get if you enjoy the game and follow esports. I am Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, joined with Husky. We will be saying goodbye and good night. See you again next time for another Free Fire battle. So, goodbye.